Welcome to the Chorus Fitness, Fat Loss and Mind Tricks Part 2. You've now seen the tricks to guide you and your mind to reach your goals of losing fat. Here are the principles and 7 steps to succeed. By following these tips, they will guide you and educate you to make your nutritional sustainable and life-changing. Step 1. Think protein. Most people eat too many carbs without even realising it. Every meal you take, you should think protein. This will help repair and develop lean muscle, which in turn will increase your metabolism, making you feel better, making you burn fat without you even realising it. Also, think protein. This will enable you to prevent an insulin spike. So when eating carbohydrates, without insulin being released, unused carbohydrates will not be taken to then be stored as body fat, allowing the friendly hormone glucagon to then take fat away from the stores, enabling fat loss. Step 2. Think lean. Having a good body composition, meaning low body fat and nice lean muscle, is simple maths. It's somewhat misconstrued that eating less calories will reduce fat. In some cases, it's slightly true, but this depends on the quality and type and quantity of food you're taking. Like I said earlier, eat extra protein. This is unlikely to be stored as body fat than extra carbohydrates and fats are. This means less will be stored in your fat cells, which means less fat will be stored on your body. With this in mind, protein and extra exercise can enable leaner body mass to increase the metabolism and aid reduced body fat. Step 3. Think about the intensity in which we train. When you train, think about the type, the intensity and the frequency you partake in. It's important that your training both includes resistance training to develop lean body mass and CV training to work in the selected training zones you desire. If these principles are followed, then some body fat will be burnt during these sessions due to the intensity on our muscles and our body systems. However, the 48 hours after will be vital for our body to lose fat. This is when our muscles will need to repair, so our intake of protein is vital, but also the lack of carbohydrates. If we limit these, then our body will need to use our fat stores to then use energy, increasing our metabolic rate. Step 4. Think timing. Eat the correct times of the day. Eat the correct foods around exercise, around repair, around sleep. This will enable us to drop our body fat at the correct times. For example, eat carbohydrates in the morning, hardly any at lunch and hardly any at dinner. This will enable the carbohydrates in the morning to be used as long sustainable throughout the day. These could be complex carbohydrates, these could be porridges, these could be muesli. This will last you until lunch, until after lunch, when you eat your proteins, when you eat your vegetables, which are good complex carbohydrates, which will enable you for the rest of the day. If that's the case, you won't have your insulin spikes, you won't drive, you won't need these carbohydrates, and hopefully you'll be full enough with your little snacks of protein, of nuts in between the day. If you're not taking these carbohydrates for the day, if you think about the timings when you eat, 5 times a day, 3 main meals, 2 snacks, this will enable your glycogen stores to be reduced, your glucagon to take the fat away from your stores, then enabling you to lose weight. Step 5. Think drink. Reduce the amount of sugary drinks you consume. Forget about the pops, forget about these nasty additives in your juices, in your natural juices. Try and lower your GIs down, especially when you're eating around carbohydrate meals, around training, before training, in training. If anything, drink water. However, if you do need your juices, have your natural juices, split them halfway with water and make them more of an isotonic, a more natural drink, less than these manufactured drinks which will then store in your body and insulin levels will increase, not enabling you to lose fat. Step 6. Think vegetables. Vegetables are the key to a healthy body and losing body fat. To a certain degree, like protein, you can't get enough of these. Every meal you take in a day, bar breakfast, should be full of protein and vegetables. If you can fill your plate through this will enable you successful fat loss. Forget there are carbohydrates. Forget that carbohydrates are bad for you. These complex carbohydrates will enable good energy sources and will provide your body with vitamins and minerals they need. The main ones to take, the ones grown above the ground, the root vegetables, for example broccoli, spinach, mange tous. These, the green ones, are much better than colourful ones due to having a lower GI content, so no sugar insulin. However, any one you take will be good. Remember, fill that plate up and this will enable you to perform greater and forget about them being a carbohydrate. Step 7. Think fruit. Fruits, like vegetables, are an essential part of our daily routine. They provide our body with various minerals, vitamins and water, providing our body cells with what we need to work properly. However, I'd be slightly cautious on what fruits to take regarding their GI levels and the sugar content. However, if you'd like to know more about this, please contact me via our website and I'll send you a list of the best fruits to take when and where, during training, after training, and also when and not to overeat them. Make sure we don't eat them when we're sat on the sofa, because then our body is taking in sugars we don't really need. Take it before we go out to train. Take it before we go out and do some exercise, before we go walking, before we go driving. Then these blood sugars are used for the exercise or our bodily needs. Step 8. Think no. Think no to dairy. Think no to cereals, refined sugars, salts, trans fats in these processed foods. Think about what our ancestors, our paleo, used to eat. When they ate, it was no anti-clogging dairy, no excess carbohydrates within our cereal, no trans fats within our processed foods, which mainly dominate our modern diet nowadays. Imagine our ancestors. They used to eat the meats of wild animals. They never used to eat the grains. They used to eat their vegetables from the wild lands. The only sugar they may have was from honey, which was virtually their carbohydrates. However, we need to forget about these starchy products, which will then increase our body fats. We need to think much lower with our intakes. We need to think about our monounsaturated, our polyunsaturated fats, such as our fish, our nuts, our avocados. So try and forget our dairy, try and forget our cereals, our refined sugars, and think more of our natural products we can buy. Step 9. Think water. Water helps us fill our stomachs, helps us address this false hunger, or sometimes makes us go and snack and eat the incorrect things, which we all love to do. Our chocolates, our sweets in the drawers, these little bits of food lying around. However, drink our water enables good cell production, it fills our stomach and enables us to feel full. Our body is made up 80% water, so constantly rehydrating this will help us function better. Have a bottle by the side of you. Take a bottle to work. Always have water near you, which enables you to drink pure, drink clean, and also fill our empty stomachs up. Step 10, takeaway. If you follow these 9 tips 80% of the time, with a good CV training, a good strength program, mix these together, and hopefully you'll enjoy a well-toned, physically fit body and mind. Thank you for listening. Danny Robb at Decorous Fitness at www.decorousfitness.co.uk. Also follow me on Facebook and Twitter.